Hello viewers, my name is Mr.Adebanjo. I want to welcome you to this video. In this video we are going to be discussing Lagos State Public Secondary School examination, the third term examination 2023, and we are going to be discussing SS2 further mathematics, both objective and theory questions. In previous videos we have discussed both mathematics for SS2 and SS1 for this third term examination 2023. So if you have not checked those videos, you may refer to those videos. And also before we get it started, before we discuss this third term examination for SS2 further mathematics objective and theory questions, if you are here to subscribe to this channel, please click the subscribe button on the channel right now, so that you will be notified whenever we post a video on this channel. Please share this video and like the video. Even try to comment in the comment section of this video if you find the material useful. Now the first question for the objective part is the one we are seeing on the screen right now, and the question is from the SOD. You have to express 3 over 3 minus sod 6 in terms of x plus m sod y. Of course we are having 3 over 3 minus sod 6, and where if you understand sod very well, you know that we have to rationalize this sod, being that the denominator is in sod form. So we don't, when you have a fraction, we don't leave the, and the denominator is in sod form, we don't leave it like that, so we rationalize. And if you want to understand sod very well, there's a video I made on sod. It's on my channel, so you can check the video, where you will be taught on how to deal with sod generally. So how do we rationalize this sod? We have to look for the conjugate of the denominator. And what's the conjugate of 3 minus sod 6? That will be 3 plus sod 6, and that is what you are going to use to multiply up and down. And if you do that, you are having the sod, which is 3 over 3 minus sod 6, multiplied by the conjugate, which is 3 plus sod 6 over 3 plus sod 6. In that case, this will multiply this, and the denominator will multiply the denominator. But you can see that the denominator is the denominators are different of two squares. So 3 minus sod 6 plus and 3 plus sod 6, they are different of two squares. So in that case, we can apply the difference of two squares to the, instead of multiplying them out. So, and 3 will multiply 3 plus sod 6. So if we do that, we still have this. Then like I said, this is the difference of two squares. Then this will give us a 3 squared minus sod 6 squared, as far as the denominator is concerned. So we'll be having 3 squared minus sod 6 squared as the denominator. Then 3 will multiply the 3 plus sod 6 as the numerator. Then 3 squared will give us 9, sod 6 squared will give us a 6. So we'll be having 3 into 3 plus sod 6 over 9 minus 6. 9 minus 3, 6 is 3. So then 3 would cancel 3, you have 3 plus sod 6, which is option B for question number 1. Question number 2 is from the probability and permutation. Yomi was asked to label 4 sorts with the letter SRPQ. What probability that he labeled them in alphabetical order? Probability that he labeled them in what probability that he labeled them in alphabetical order? Of course, we have a SRPQ, and these are 4 letters. So how many we can rearrange these letters? It can be arranged in a 4 factorial way. So this is one letter, 2, 3, 4. So how can we reshuffle this letter? That will be, it can be arranged in the it can be labeled in 24 4 factorial, which is 24. Then what's the probability that I label them in alphabetical order? That can only be done once in alphabetical order, so that will be 1 out of arranging it in 24 ways. So that should give us the probability. The probability in that will be arranged alphabetical order will be favorable outcome over total outcome. Total outcome is how many ways can you arrange this label. That will be 4 factorials. Then probability of arranging probability of that is labeled in alphabetical order, that can only be done in one way. So that will be 1 out of 4 factorial. And you know how we got 4 factorial. 4 factorial is the number of ways you can rearrange this, and but you can only arrange it in alphabetical order one in just one time, or just one time. That's favorable because it can only happen one time out of 24 ways of rearranging these 4 letters. So option A is for question number 2. Question number 3 is from the trigonometric ratio. In this case, you have to convert an angle from degrees to radians. So conversion of angle from degrees to radians. So of course we need to know the conversion rate between degrees and radians. 180 degrees will give us pi radians, and we have 75 degrees. So that means we need to know what 1 degrees will be in radians. So therefore 1 degree will be pi over 180 in radian. So if you know what 1 degree will be, so you can find 75 degrees. So therefore 75 degrees will be 75 times pi over 180 in radians. So you can reduce 75 and reduce 180. So that should give us 5 pi over 12. 5 pi over what? Over 12. So therefore 75 degree will give us a 5 pi over 12, which is option A for question number 3. Question number 4 is from the permutation and combination. We are told that 4 doctors and 2 nurses are to sit round a circular table. In how many ways can this be done if the nurses are to sit together? So now this can be done in 2 ways. Now we can since there are 6 sitting down in a circular round table, so that can be done in 2 ways, just like your beads. If you have a round circular beads, you can bead a thread in 2 ways. So this can be done in 2 ways. Then n minus 1 factorial, where n is talking about the number of people involved, which are 6. But we are told that if 2 nurses are to sit together, so the 2 nurses that are to sit together will be treated as 1. So 2 nurses that are to sit together will be treated as 1. So instead of having 6 now, you'll be having 5. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So your n will not be 6 now, because we are told that 2 nurses are to sit together. So those ones that are to sit together will be treated as 1. So 6 minus 1 will give us 5. So you'll be having 2 into 2 times 5 minus 1. The reason why n is supposed to be 6, but because of the 2 nurses that will be sitting together, so we got them as 1. So therefore you'll be having 5 minus 1 factorial, and that should give us 2 times 4 factorials. 4 factorial is 24. Then 24 times 2 will give us 48. So 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which will give us 24 times 2, that will give us 48 ways, which is option A. Question number 5 is from the polynomial. It's from polynomial. If x minus 5 is a factor of this polynomial, we have to find the remaining factors. So this is a cubic expression, and this is a linear. So this is a factor of this. So that means if this one divide this, then the remainder should be 0, and the quotient you are going to get will be in a quadratic form. So you cannot deal with the quadratic to get the remaining 2 factors. So what you need to do is to use this to divide this first, then you now get a quotient. which is going to be in a quadratic form. So if you divide, now let's divide it together. So this is the polynomial, which is x cubed minus 4x squared minus 11x plus 30. Then the divisor is x minus 5, which is the factor of this. So you start x in s cubed, that will give us s squared. Then s squared times s will give us s cubed. Then s squared times minus 5 will give us minus 5s squared. Then you subtract this from this. So that's why we are introducing minus outside. So this one become minus, this one become plus. Because minus times plus will give us minus, minus times minus will give us a plus. So we are having s cubed minus s cubed, that will give us 0. Then 4s squared plus 5s squared, that will give us s squared. Do we understand that? Then this minus 11s will come down. So you go again, x in s squared, that will give us a plus x. Then plus s times x will give us a s squared. X times minus 5 will give us a minus 5x. Then you subtract again, you introduce minus. This one become minus, this one become plus. So s squared minus s squared give us 0. Minus 11x plus 5x, that give us a minus 6x. Then plus 30 will come down. So you have minus 6x plus 30. X in minus 6x, that will give us minus 6. Then minus 6 times x, that will give us a minus 6x. Minus 6 times minus 5, that will give us a plus 30. Introduce minus again, you subtract. Then this one become plus, this one become minus. So minus 6x plus 6x will give us 0. Plus 30 minus 30 will give us 0. So now we now have this quadratic expression to deal with. So from this quadratic expression we'll get the two remaining factors. So how do we do that? You need to simplify the quadratic expression, x squared plus x minus 6x. And how do we factorize this? Two numbers can multiply that together to give us minus 6, and when you add them together give us a plus 1 here, and that should be plus 3 minus 2, plus 3 minus 2. So if you replace that with this x here, you'll be having x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6. Then factorize this, you'll be having 3x into x plus 3 minus 2 is common here, you have minus 2 into x plus 3. Then bring this together, you have s minus 2 and s plus 3 as the two remaining factors. So I think option C is the correct option for question number 5. Question number 6 is from the propositional logic. It's from propositional logic. You have considered the statement P is the propositional P, the student walked down to school. Propositional Q, the school bus arrived late. Which of the following can be expressed by P if P then Q? So this is if P then Q. Either the bus arrived late or Tunde walked to school. That is incorrect. Mary walked to school because the bus arrived late. The school bus arrived late. The school bus arrived late early. Sorry. The school bus arrived early and Kate ran to school. Ade didn't go to school because school bus has arrived late. Mary walked to school, which is if the student walked to school, then the bus arrived late. If the student walked to school, that is if P then Q. If the student walked to school, then the school bus arrived late. Then yeah, you're having right. You're having Mary walked to school because the bus arrived late, which correspond with the if P then Q. So option B is correct option for question number 6. Question number 7 is from the sequence and series, and that's a geometric progression. We are told that the third term of a geometric progression is 10 and the sixth term is 80. Find the common ratio. So what is the third term of a GP? That should be AR squared. The third term of a GP is AR squared, and that will be equals to 10. So you have AR squared equals to 10, equation 1. And the sixth term, what is the sixth term of a GP? That will be AR raised to power 5, and that will be equals to 80 to give us equation 2. So you can divide equation 2 by equation 1. So if you divide this one by this one, so A will cancel A, then R squared will go in R raised to power 5, that will give us R cubed left. R cube left. So you have R cube then 80 divided by 10, that gives us 8. So to get our common ratio, which is our r, we find the cube root of both sides. So find the cube root of this, that gives us r. Find the cube root of 8, that gives us 2. So the common ratio is 2, which is option A. Question number 8 is from function. It's from function. If f of s plus 2 is equal to s cubed minus 2s squared plus 4x plus 7, find f of 1. So how do we do that? You need to get our hex before you can find f of 1. So what do? That means f of s plus 2 should be equal to f of 1. So from there you can find our hex. So it means that f of s plus 2 equals to f of 1. Then f will cancel f, so we'll be having s plus 2 equals to 1. So s will be equals to 1 minus 2. Then s will be equals to minus 1. So that means now you now find the f of minus 1 using this function. So therefore f of minus 1 will be equals to minus 1 cubed minus 2 into minus 1 squared plus minus 1 plus 7. Then from there you can now simplify. Minus 1 cubed will give us minus 1. The minus 1 squared will give, that is 1. Then plus times minus here will give us a minus. So you are having a minus 1, then minus 2, minus 1 plus 7. You simplify that will give us 3, which is option C for question number 8. Question number 9 is from the differentiation. We have to differentiate if y is equals to 1 plus x over 1 minus x. We have to find the y dx, which means we need to differentiate this function. And this function is a function dividing another function. That means you have to use a quotient rule. You have to use quotient rule to differentiate this. So using quotient rule, you have our dy dx to be v du dx minus u dv dx over v square. So that means you need to call one of these function 1 plus x, you need to call it u, and from there you get the u dx, and you need to call it 1 minus x, you need to call it v, and from there you get the v dx. So if our u is 1 plus x, which is the numerator, so if you differentiate u with respect to x, so that means you'll be having 1. How? If you differentiate 1, that will give us 0, and if you differentiate x, that will give us 1. So that means du dx will give us 1. So our v is 1 minus x. If you differentiate v with respect to x, that means we'll be having dv dx. We'll be having dv dx. Then that dv dx will give us minus 1. If I differentiate 1, that gives us 0. If I differentiate minus 1, that gives us minus 1. Then from there, if you put it into this quotient rule, so we have dy dx equals to our v is 1 minus x, which is 1 minus x here, multiplied by du dx. Du dx is 1, so you have 1 here. Then minus our u is 1 plus x, so you have 1 plus x. Then our dv dx is minus 1. Our dv dx is minus 1, you have minus 1 over v square. V is 1 minus x, then squared it. Then you simplify it by opening the bracket. So you have 1 times 1 will give us 1. 1 times minus x will give us minus x. Then also here minus 1 times minus x will give us plus. So 1 plus times 1 will give us 1. 1 times x will give us x over 1 plus s squared, 1 minus s squared. Simplify this further. Minus s plus s will give us 0. 1 plus 1 will give us 2. So you have 2 over 1 minus s squared, which is the option B for question number 9. Question number 10. In how many ways can a committee of 3 women and 2 men be chosen from a group of 7 men and 5 women? This is from permutation and combination. This is from combination. The question is from combination. So in how many ways can a committee of 3 women and 2 men be chosen from a group of 7 men and 5 women? So 3 women from 5 women, then 2 men from 7 men. So that means you'll be having 7 combination 2 multiplied by 5 combination 3. So you'll be having 7 combination 2, which is picking 2 men from 7 men multiplied by 5 combination 3. So we are picking 3 women from 5 women. So 7 combination 2 multiplied by 5 combination 3. And if you understand combination, that will be give us a 7 factorial over 7 minus 2 factorial 2 factorial multiplied by 5 factorial over 5 minus 3 factorial 3 factorial. If you simplify that further, 7 minus 2 is 5 factorial, 5 minus 3 will give us a 2 factorial as well there. If you simplify that further, 7 factorial can be written as 7 times 6 times 5 factorial, so that 5 factorial can take care of 5 factorial here. And also 5 factorial can be written as 5 times 4 times 3 factorial, so that they can cancel out. So if this take care of this, you have 7 times 6 divided by 2. So that should give us a 7 times 6 divided by 2. And 3 factorial will take care of 3 factorial here. So 4 times 4 give us 20 over 2 factorial, which is 2. So that will give us a 21 times 10. That will give us 210 ways, which is option D. Question number 11 is from the sum and root of quadratic equation. Sum and root of quadratic equation. If alpha and beta are the root of the equation, 7x squared plus 11x minus 4 equal to 0, find the value of alpha beta over alpha plus beta squared. So we are given this quadratic equation. From there we know our a is 7, our b is 12, and our c is minus 4. So from there we can get the sum of the root of the quadratic equation, which is alpha plus beta. So alpha plus beta will be minus b over a. So in this case you have it to be our b is 12 and our a is 7, minus 12 over 7 is sum of the root. Then for the product of the root, which is to be alpha beta, that will be c over a. Our c is minus 4 and our a is 7. So therefore we have to simplify this. So we have alpha beta over alpha plus beta squared. So all you need to do is to put your product, which is minus 4 over 7, and your sum is minus 12 over 7 as well. So put it that here. If you substitute that here, you have minus 4 over 7 over in open bracket minus 12 over 7 squared. So this one will give us minus 4 over 7, this division sign, which is this division, then square of each of this one will give us 144 over 49. You can now change this one to times, so you'll be having minus 4 over 7 times 49 over 144. So if you reduce that, that will give us a minus 7 over 36, which is option C. Question number 12 from the probability. What's the probability of picking a letter T from the word institution? Probability of picking a letter T from the word institution. So how many T do we have in institution? We have 3 T's in institution. Then from there, what's the number of letters we have in institution? I think we have 11 letters in institution. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 letters. So we have to pick T. So that will give us the probability of picking these 3 T's. Probability of picking T in one of these 3 T in this whole letter here will be 3, because we have 3 T's here out of 11. So that should give us 0.27, which is option C as well. Question number 13 is from the binomial expansion. It's from binomial expansion. We have to find the terms in the binomial expansion of q plus x raised to the power 7. We have to find the fifth term. Now to find the fifth term, you can use this shortcut to find the number anytime you want. So you have an n combination r minus 1, then q raised to the power r minus 2. This q is from this q you're having here, then this x is this x here, so x raised to the power n minus 3. N is the number of the highest power of the denominator, which is 7. Then your r here is the number of times you are looking for. So in this case you'll be having 7 combination. You're looking for fifth term, which is r 5 minus 1. Then q you're having here is q. Then your r is the fifth term, 5 minus 2. And then x you're having here is x 7, which is your n minus 3. And if you simplify that, you'll be having a 7 combination. 5 minus 1 is 4, 5 minus 2 here is 3, so q raised to the power 3, then x raised to the power 4 as well. Then you can need to simplify this combination. So you'll be having 7 factorials over 7 minus 4 factorial, 4 factorial. So that should give us then q raised to power 3 s raised to power 4. If you simplify this further, we'll be having 7 over 3 factorial 4 factorial. Then if you expand this, you'll be having 7 times 6 times 4 times 4 5 times 4 factorial over 3 factorial 4 factorial. Then from there, 4 factorial will take your 4 factorial here. So you have 7 times 6 times 5 over 3 factorial. 3 factorial is 6. So 6 will take care of 6 here. You have 7 times 5, which is 35. So you'll be having 35 q raised to power 3 s raised to power 4, which is option C as well. Option C. Question number 14 is from the application of differentiation to rectilinear motion on the straight line. So the distance x meters, so distance x in meters moved by a body in t seconds is given by x is equal to 5t cubed minus 19 over 2t squared plus 6t minus 4. We have to calculate the acceleration of the body after 2 seconds. So like I said, is the application of differentiation to rectilinear motion, that is motion on the straight line. So you are given the distance, the equation of the distance, which is this. Then we know that if you differentiate distance with a time, distance with respect to time, that should give us velocity. So if you now differentiate velocity with time again, that will give us acceleration. So that means if you differentiate this function twice, that will give us the acceleration. So if I differentiate once, I'll have the s dt. I'm differentiating distance with respect to time. That'll give us the s dt, which is same as velocity. So if you differentiate, 3 will come to the down. So if you have 15, they remove 1 from the power. So you have 15t squared minus, differentiate this, 2 will come down. So you have 2 times 19 over 2. So 2 will cancel 2. We have 19. Then remove 1 from the power. You have 19t. Then plus differentiate 6t. That give us 6. Then differentiate minus 4. That give us 0. So this is velocity. So if I differentiate again, that give us acceleration. That means I'm differentiating again. So that means I'm differentiating the velocity against time. So dv dt, that will give us acceleration. So I can say this will be that 2x that t squared. So acceleration is same thing as that means I'm differentiating this one again with same thing as that 2x that t squared. That means I've differentiated twice, and this is what we call higher derivative. So 2 come down, will give us 30t. Then if I differentiate minus 19t, that gives us a minus 19. Sorry, minus 19. So this is the acceleration, but at 2 seconds. So your t is 2. You'll put 2 there. You'll be having a is equals to 30 times 2 minus 19. That gives us 60 minus 19, and that should give us 41 meter per second square, which is option D for question number 14. Question number 15 is from equation of circle. Equation of circle. We can also find the equation of the normal to the curve y is equal to 3s squared plus 2 at point 1, 5. So this is the equation of circle, but we can also apply use the, it's also applicable to application of a differential calculus to circle. So I can solve this in 2 ways. I can use the default method, which is the equation of circle, and I can also use differentiation to find the equation of the normal. Of course, we know that a normal is a straight line that is perpendicular to the tangent of a circle at the point of tangention. So a normal is a straight line. It's a straight line that is perpendicular to a tangent of a circle at a point of tangention. So that means equation of the normal you are looking for is a linear equation. So consider that all the equations you have here, they are linear equation. So, and how do we do that? We can find the gradient of this curve. This y equals to 3x squared plus 2. We can find the gradient of that at this 1, 5. So that we can differentiate this function, because we know that differentiation literally mean gradient. So if you are differentiating, you also find the gradient of the function. So if I differentiate this function, we have y equals to 3x squared plus 2. If I differentiate this, that will be how the y here will be equals to 6x. So then at 1,5, that means our s is 1. So if I substitute that here, so that means the y ds, which is same as gradient, which is m, will be 6 times 1, and that will be 6. Then from there, we know that the number is perpendicular to to the tangent, and we know that the two lines are perpendicular when the product of their gradients are equals to minus 1. We know that two straight lines are perpendicular when the product of their gradient m1 m2 is equal to minus 1. So we know the gradient of the tangent at the point of tangent. So we can now find the gradient of the number that we are looking for. So that by substituting, if you put this one 6 you have gotten here, so that gives us a 6 m2 minus equals to minus 1 rather. So your m2 will now be equals to the variable side by 6, that gives us minus 1 over 6. So this is now the gradient of the number we are looking for. And like I said, the number you're looking for is a linear equation, and you can use the template of linear equation, which is y is equal to ms plus c, where your m is the gradient and the c is the y-intercept. So if you substitute this here, so you have a y is equal to minus 6, so minus 1 over 6x plus c. So at the point of contact here, which is 1 minus 5, so s is 1, y is 5, so you can find our c. So you have 5 is equal to minus 1 over 6 times 1 plus 6. So from there, that should give us 5 equals to minus 1 over 6 plus c. We can collect like time, so c will be equals to 5 plus 1 over 6. If you simplify it, that should give us 31 over 6. Then if you now return this into this equation here, you have a y is equals to minus 1 over 6x, then plus 31 over 6. So you can multiply it through by 6 to clear the denominators. So you'll be having 6y equals to minus x plus 31. And if you take everything to this side, you have a 6y plus x minus 31 equals to 0. I think option B is the correct option for question number 15. Question number 16 is still on equation of circle. We have to find the radius of the circle. 2x squared plus 4y squared plus minus 4x plus 5y plus 1 equals to 0. We have to find the radius of this equation of circle. Now, so the equation given to us is this. So the first thing to do is to divide through by 2. If you divide through by 2, you have a s squared plus 2 plus y squared minus 2x plus 5 over 2y plus half equal to 0. Because we have divided through by 2 to make the coefficient of x squared and y squared to be 1. Then from there, the next thing to do is to take the constant to the other side. So you'll be having s squared. Okay, now I've also rearranged s squared, then minus 2x plus y squared plus 5 over 2y equals to minus half. Then you can now perform the difference of so you cannot perform the completing the square on this and on this as well. Complete the square for x, complete the square for y. So how do you do that? You half and square the equation of x here and add it to both sides. You also have the equation of y here and add it to both. You also half and square the equation of y here and add it to both sides. So if I have minus 2, what will that give me? If I have it, that will give me minus 1, and if I now square it, that will give me 1. So you'll be having s squared minus 2x plus minus 1 squared. You know how we get this minus 1? If you have minus 2, that gives us minus 1, then square it. So you're having it here, and minus 1 square will give us a 1 here. So that we have added it to both sides here. Then also for y, you have to have the equation of y. You have to have the equation of y. What is equation of y? That will be 5 over 2. And when you have it, that will give us 1 over 2 times half of 5 over 2. So half of 5 over 2 is half times 5 over 2. Then you squared it as well. So that should give us a 5 over 4 squared. And 5 over 4 squared is the same as 25 over 16, which is what you're having here as well. So you have completed the square for x, and added it to both sides, you have completed the square for y and added it to both sides. So from there, you need to make this one a perfect square. You need to make this to a perfect square, and that should be x then minus 1 all squared. So you'll be having x minus 1 all squared. Then you need to make this one also a perfect square. That should be y plus 5 over 4 squared. Then also here you need to find the LCM, and that will be 16. 2 in 16 is 8 times minus 1, that gives minus 8. 1 in 16 is 16. 16 times 1 is 16, plus 16 in 16 is 1 times 25, 25. Then from there, we don't need this, we don't need to work on this, we only need to find the radius, which is the right hand side. We simplify that further, that will give us 33 over 16. Then if you remember the template of equation of circle, when you are given the coordinate of the center to be a comma b and the radius to be r, then you can compare this we can compare the equation that is derived, which is x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals to r squared. Then you can compare this and this to get our radius. So that means your r squared will be equal to 33 over 16. So then from there you can take the square root of both sides to find the value of your r. So r will be square root of 33 over 16, and the square root of 16 is 4. So that will give us square root of 33 over 4 as the radius of the circle, which is option D for question number 16. Question number 17 is from integration. We have to integrate, so we have to evaluate the integral of 2x plus 1 raised to power 3 dx. And we should know that from our idea of integration, this is a function of function. 2x plus 1 is a function, and the bracket raised to power 3 is another function. So then we are going to integrate this by integration by substitution. So integration by substitution. So you need to call 2x plus 1, you call it a variable, so you can call it u. So you can say let u be 2x plus 1. So we can differentiate u with respect to x, that will give us du dx. So du dx will give us a 2, because if you differentiate 2x, that will give us 2, and if you differentiate 1, that will give us 0. So from here now we can find our dx. From here we can find dx by making ds subject of the formula. So from there, if you make ds of the formula, there you'll be having ds equals to du over 2. So that means you can now return that back here. So whenever you see ds, you write du over 2, and this one will be u raised to power 3. So that means you'll be having integral of u raised to power 3, because you already called 2s plus 1 your u. So whenever you see 2s plus 1, you put u there. So that means you'll be having the integral of u raised to power 3, which is what you're having here, times ds is du over 2. So 1 over 2 here is a constant, so it will go out. So we have 1 over 2 integral u raised to power 3 du. So if we integrate u raised to power 3 du, that should give us u raised to power 4 over 4. So that will give us 1 over 2 times u raised to power 4 over 4 plus k, which is the constant, and that should give us 1 over 8 into our u is 2x plus 1. So if you return that back here, so you'll be having 2x plus 1 raised to power 4. Then this 2 multiplied 4 will give us 8 here, so plus k. So when we integrate this function, then we'll be having 1 over 8 into 2x plus 1 raised to power 4 plus k, which is option D. If option D is the correct option for question number 17. Question number 18 is from the matrices. You have to find the inverse of matrix A, given that the matrix A is equals to x, given that matrix A is this 2 by 2 matrix. You have to find the inverse of that matrix. So we know that the inverse of a matrix is the adjoint of the matrix divided by the determinant of that matrix. So to find the inverse of this matrix A, that will be adjoint of matrix A over determinant of matrix A. So let's find the determinant of matrix A first. So you have to find the determinant of this matrix. So all you need to do is to cross multiply across this one. So that will be 3 multiplied by 4, that will give us a minus 12. Then minus, then you have minus 2 times 5, that will give us a minus 10. The minus 10 times that minus will give us a plus 10. I'll come again, 3 times minus 4 give us minus 12, minus, there's a minus on ground, then this minus 2 times 5 will give us minus 10. Then minus 10 times that minus will give us plus 10, and then that should give us minus 10 minus 12 plus 10 will give us a minus 2. So that's the determinant. Then let's find the adjoint. The adjoint of matrix A. What do you do to find the adjoint of this matrix A? All you need to do is to swap this diagonal. Swap this one. So this minus 4 will come here, then 3 will come here. So you have a minus 4, then 3. Then the second diagonal, you need to multiply by minus. You multiply this by minus, you multiply this by minus. So you have 2, then you have minus 5. So that is the adjoint of matrix A. Therefore, the inverse of matrix A will be adjoint, which is what you have gotten here, this 2 by 2 matrix divided by determinant, which is minus 2 we got there. So this can be written as this is 1 over minus 2 into bracket of the adjoint, and this minus 1 over 2 will multiply each element in the matrix. So that we have minus half in multiplied by 4, that should give us a 2. Then minus half times minus 5, that will give us a 5 over 2. Minus half times 2, that will give us minus 1. Minus half times 3, that will give us minus 3 over 2. So this matrix that is given to us here is the inverse of this matrix A. And if you look at the option provided, I think option A is the correct option for question number 18. Question number 19 is from trigonometric ratio. If 2 cos theta, 2 cos square theta, cos square x rather, is equal to 1 plus cos x, where 0 degrees is less than or equal to s, less than or equal to 90 degrees. So telling us that this belongs to trigonometric ratio, we have to find the value of x. So of course, how do we solve this? You are given an equation, 2 cos square theta, cos square x equals to 1 plus cos x. So you can collect like terms. You'll be having take this 1 and cos x to this side. You have 2 cos square x minus cos x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then this look like a quadratic equation, if you can see, because this is a square of cos x, then this is cos x, this is minus 1. So to make it look real, you can call cos x to be another variable. So you can say let p be cos x. So anywhere we see cos x, you put p there. So technically you'll be having 2 p squared minus p minus 1 equals to 0. So this is the quadratic equation, and we can solve to find the value of our p. So and that means if you use you can use any method you know, but you can use a factorization method here. 2 multiply minus 1, that gives us minus 2. Then 2 numbers you can multiply together to give us minus 2, and when you add them together give us minus 1 here, and that should be minus 2 plus 1. So those 2 numbers will now replace minus p here. So that should give us a 2p squared minus 2p plus p minus 1 equals to 0. Then factorize this. So you have 2p into p minus 1. Then factorize this. 1 is common, so that plus 1 into p minus 1 equals to 0. So we know that the 2 brackets are meant to be equal. So you pick 2p plus 1 and then pick one of the brackets. You have 2p plus 1 into p minus 1 is equal to 0. So from there you can find the value of your p. Each of them will be equal to 0. Then find your p from there, which I believe you know how to do that. So p will be minus half, or p will be equal to 1. Don't forget, this is not what you have to find. You have to find the value of x, not p. So what you need to do is to return back your p into this equation you have here to get the value of your x. So if your p is minus half, if you put that here, you'll be having minus half is equal to cos x. So from there you can find your s to be cos inverse of minus half. That should give us 120 degrees. So that will not be correct, because you are told that the angle is between 0 degree and 90 degrees. So that will not be correct. So that angle is more than 90 degrees. But if you test this one, p is equals to 1. So you have a cos s is equals to 1. Then if you find the cos inverse of 1, that will give us 0. So 0 degrees is the correct answer for question number 19. And you can also confirm that if I put 0 degrees here, so I have cos 0 is 1, then 1 square is 1, 1 times 2 here give us 2 here at the left hand side. Then here you have a cos s, so put your 0 here, you have cos s to be 1, 1 plus 1 give us 2. So that we can see that the two sides are equal. Question number 20 is from probability. A fair coin is thrown 4 times. What is the sample space? So we want us to get the sample space for 4 coins that is thrown at the same time.
So the 4 coins thrown at the same time, so the sample square will be 2 raised to power 4. How do you get the 2? Because in each of the coin you only have 2 outcomes in each coin. It's either head or tail, so that's where the 2 comes from. So, and then raised to power 4, that's the number of coins you have there, which is 4. So you have a 2 raised to power 4, and that should give us 16. So when you throw 4 coins at the same, you're going to have a number of the sample space is going to be having 16 outcomes in there. So option D is correct option for question number 20. Question number 21 is from the permutation and combination. Given that n is equal to 3, evaluate 1 over n minus 1 factorial minus 1 over n plus 1 factorial. So it's very simple as well. Like I told, is from the combination and permutation. 1 over n minus 1 factorial can be written as okay, what can we do? Sorry, we are giving the value of our n here. N is 3, so we put your 3. You have a 3 minus 1 factorial. Here you have a minus 1 over 3 plus 1 factorial. If you simplify this, so that should give us a 1 over 2 factorial minus 1 over 4 factorial. Then from there we know what 2 factorial is, and we know 4 factorial. 2 factorial is 2 times 1. Then 4 factorial will give us a 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So from there 2 factorial is 2, then 4 factorial is 24. You can find the LCM. The LCM will be 24. 2 in 24 is 12 times 1, 12 minus 12 in 12, 24 in 24 is 1. Then times 1, that will give us 1. So that should give us 11 over 24, which is option D for question number 21. Question number 22 is from differentiation. But given that y squared plus sy minus 5 is equals you are given that y squared plus sy equals to 5, you have to find dy dx. That is, you have to differentiate this function. But if you look at this function, the function is an implicit function. The function is an implicit function, so you have to differentiate this implicitly. So please don't mind my English. So I can't say it very fast. Implicitly. So so you have to differentiate this implicitly. And how do we do that? So if you differentiate y squared, that should give us a 2y dy dx. Differentiate this function, you have 2y dy dx. Why are we having dy dx to reach? Because this is a dependent variable. Y is a dependent variable, so anytime you are differentiating y, you need to have dy dx to reach. Then plus you differentiate x and you leave y. If I differentiate x here, that will give me 1. So 1 times y will give me y. Then plus I will leave x and differentiate y. I will leave x and differentiate y. So if I leave x, I have x here. Then I will differentiate y. That should give me 1 dy dx. So that 1 times x will give us x. So equals to, if you differentiate 5, that gives us 0, because that's the constant. Then from there you can collect like times. You have 2y dy dx plus, take this y to this side, you have minus y here, then plus x dy dx. So you can factorize dy dx here because it's common. So that means you'll be having dy dx into 2y plus x equals to minus y. So divide both sides by the 2y plus x because you are looking for dy dx, which is differentiation. So dy dx will be equals to minus y over 2y plus x. So which is the option B, if I'm correct. Question number 23. This is from the limit of a function. Limit of a function. You have to limit this function. So x is 10 to 2, s squared minus 5s plus 6 over s squared minus 4. So if you put this 2 into this function straight away, you have 4 minus 10 plus 6. So that should give us 0 automatically over 0. So you can't say the answer here is 0. So the answer is not 0. Excuse me, please. So the answer is not 0, because if you can differentiate, we can simplify this quadratic expression, then simplify this quadratic as well. So then we'll know that before we now substitute our value of our x to be 2 into it. So how do we do that? We add the function. So let's simplify this quadratic expression by looking for two numbers you can multiply together to give us 6, and when you add them together give us minus 5, and that should be minus 3 minus 2. So technically the expression become s squared minus 2s minus 3s plus 6 over the denominator is a difference of two squares. The denominator is a difference of two squares. If you remember, s squared minus 4, you can write this 4 to be 2 raised to power 2 as well. So you'll be having s minus 2 into s plus 2. Then you can now factorize the denominator. So s is common to this and this. You have x into s minus 2. Then minus 3 is common. You have minus 3 into s minus 2. Then if you simplify further, what do we have? We have a limit of x minus 3, then s minus 2 over s minus 2, s plus 2. So s minus 2, we cancel s minus 2. So we are left with a limit of s minus 3 over s plus 2. So at this junction, you can put the value of x in there. So you'll be having 2 minus 3, which is minus 1 over 2 plus 2, that gives us 4. So that may be having minus 1 over 4 as the answer. So which is option D. Question number 24 is from the vector. We are given that a vector s is equals to 3x plus 3i plus 2j plus k, and the vector y is I plus j plus k. We have to find the dot product of x and y. So dot product of x and y will be x dot y equals to the vector x dot vector j and y. Then in dot product, I will multiply I, j will multiply j, k will multiply k, because you cannot I cannot multiply another component. It will give us 0. But when I multiply I will give us 1, j multiplied by j will give us 1, k multiplied by k will give us 1 as well. So therefore that may be having 3i times I will give us 3, 2j times j will give us 2, 1 times k times k will give us what? 1. So if you simplify that further, that will give us 6, which is option D for question number 24. Question number 25. If you are to, this question is from the quadratic equation, and we are to, if 3s squared plus ps plus 12 equals to 0 has equal root, find the value of p. So this is the nature of the root of quadratic equation. That is SS2 further mathematics. Nature of the root of quadratic equation. It could be distinct, it could be imaginary, it could be equal and real. So now in this case we are told that the roots are equal. So the only way you can test that is by using the discriminant, which is d is equals to d is equals to 0, and our d is b squared minus 4ac to be equals to 0, which is the discriminant. From the equation we can get our a will be 3, our b is p, and our c is 12. So using the discriminant, d is equal to 0. So we have our discriminant to be b squared minus 4ac equals to 0. So this capital letter d, it means b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. So our b is a p. If you put that here, you have a b squared minus 4 times our a is 3, and our c is 12 equals to 0. Simplify, you have a p squared equals to minus 144. Sorry, p squared minus 144 equals to 0. Collect times p squared equals to 144. Square root of both sides, you have p is equal to plus or minus square root of 144, which should be square root of plus or minus p will be equals to plus or minus 12, which is option D. Question number 26 is from the motion on a straight line. That's rectilinear motion. Motion on a straight line is particle begin to move at 27 meters per second along a straight line with a constant retardation of 9 meters per second. This is 9 meters per second squared, not it's not a velocity. That is a retardation, that is acceleration, negative acceleration. So negative acceleration. We have to calculate the time it took to take the particle to come to stop. So correct this error here. This should be 9 meters per second square, not per seconds. So from there we are given the initial velocity to be 27 meters per second, and the final velocity for it to come to rest will be 0, because when it comes to rest the final velocity will be 0 at that point. So the initial velocity is 27 meters per second. Then the acceleration, which is the retardation, negative retardation here, is given to be 9, so that will be minus 9. It's a negative acceleration, 9 meters per second square. We have to look for time. So if you remember in one of the equation of the motion that related to what is given to us and what we are looking for. We have v is equal to u plus at. So our v is the 0, which is final velocity, equal to 0, and the initial velocity is 27 plus our a is minus 9, then multiplied by t. So that should give us, if you simplify, 0 equals to 27 minus 90. So collect light times, you'll be having 90 equals to 27 divided both sides by 9. So t will be equals to 3 seconds, which is option B for question number 26. Question number 27 is from probability. The probability that Kate and Mercy will fail in mathematics are 1/6 and 1/9 respectively. Find the probability that only one of them will fail the mathematics. So the probability that both of them fail is Kate fail is 1/6, and the probability that Mercy fail is 1/9. So we need to get the probability that that Kate will pass, and we need to get the probability that Mercy will also pass. So if K prime represents probability that Kate fail, which is 1/6, therefore probability that she passed will be 1 minus probability that she failed, and that will give us a 5/6. Because we know that the probability of success plus probability of failure will give us 1. So if she failed to be 1/6, then probability that she will pass will be 1 minus 1/6, which is 5/6. Also for Mercy, probability that she failed is 1/9. The probability that she passed will be 1 minus 1/9, which will give us 8/9. Then probability that only one of them will fail, only one of them fail will be probability that this one fail, then Kate fail, Mercy pass, or probability that Kate pass, Mercy fail. So probability that only one of them fail will be Kate fail, Mercy pass, plus probability that Mercy fail, Kate pass. So if you substitute the one side there, you'll be having 1/6, which is for Kate being failed, multiplied by 8/9, which is Mercy pass, then plus 1/9, which is Mercy failed, multiplied by 5/6, which is for Kate that pass. Then if you simplify this further, you'll be having 4/27. If you simplify this 4/27 plus simplify it, that will be 5/54. Find the LCM, that will be 8 plus 5/54. Then that should give us 13/54. So which is option B for question number 27. Question number 28 is from the matrices. Given that matrix P is equals to this 2x2 matrix in terms of s plus s4 3 7, then matrix Q also is 2x2. You have x 1 3 2x, and given that the determinant of the Q is 3 more than that of P, find the value of x. So of course I don't know the reason why they gave a question on matrices for SS2, because this topic belongs to SS3 students, but nevertheless you are going to solve the question. So there's a relationship between the determinants of Q and the determinant of P. So the determinant of Q is 3 more than the determinant of P. Then the question, you need to find the determinant of this and get the determinant of this. So how do we do that? If you get it, okay, according to this relation given to us, the determinant of Q is equals to determinant of P plus 3. Determinant of Q is 3 more than that of P. So we should be able to interpret that mathematically. Determinant of Q is equals to determinant of P plus 3. That's what that means. Then let's find the determinant of each of them. Okay, if you substitute that here, so we have determinant of P, which is determinant of Q rather, which is of course we know that this two straight line means determinant. So you now put this element in there, equals to determinant of P plus 3. Then how do you find the determinant of this? So you cross multiply this, will multiply this, so you have s times 2s, that should give us 2s squared, minus 1 times 3, that gives us 3. So you'll be having 2s squared minus 3 equals to, cross multiply s times 4, 7 times s will give us 7x, minus 3 times 4 will give us minus 12, then plus 3. Simplify that further, will give you, okay, by collecting like terms, you have 2s squared, then minus 7x minus 3 plus 12, then minus 3 equals to 0. Then if you simplify that further, you'll be having 2s squared minus 7s plus 6 equals to 0, which is the quadratic equation. So we can solve this one by elimination factorization method. So 2 multiply 6, so that gives us 12. So 2 numbers can multiply together to give us 12, and when you add them to give us minus 7. That is minus 3 minus 4. I think yes, minus 3 minus 4. So if you replace that by here, you'll be having 2s squared minus 4s minus 3s plus 6 equal to 0. Factorize. 2x is common here, you have 2x into s minus 2. Minus 3 is common here, you have minus 3 into s minus 2 equals to 0. Bring this together, you have 2s minus 3 into s minus 2 equal to 0. Then find x from each of these. You'll be having your s equal to 3 over 2 or s is equal to 2. So which is I think option D for question number 28. Question number 29. I do score in 5 subjects in an examination are these. Calculate the standard deviation. Of course, this is from statistics. So you have to find the standard deviation of these 5 scores of ADU. And we know that before we can get the standard deviation, we need to get our mean first. Because if there's no mean, you cannot find standard deviation. So how do you find mean? Add the numbers together divided by the number of data, which is 5. So add those data together divided by 5, that will give us the mean. And that gives us, if you add this together, 425 over 5, that gives us 85. So that means the mean, which is x bar, is 85. Then to now get the standard deviation, we know that standard deviation is a square root of summation of s minus s bar squared over n. And we need to calculate this s minus s bar, which is your x are the data given to you, and your s bar is the mean you got here. So you need to remove your mean from each of these x. So that means that would give us this x minus x bar here. So x, which is x, minus s bar, which is 85. Sorry, the first x here, which is 85 minus 85, which is x bar, that gives us 0. 84 minus 85 minus 1, 83 minus 85 minus 2, 86 minus 85 1, 87 minus 85 give us 2. Then from there now you have to square the deviation. Square s minus s bar square. So that means you have 0 square is 0, minus 1 square is 1, minus 2 square is 4, 1 square is 1, 2 square is 4. Then summation of that, so you need to sum this together, that gives us 10. So that means you'll be having the standard deviation to be square root of 10 over our n is 5, because you have 5 data there. So, and that should give us square root of 2, and that should give us 1.4 approximately, which is option A for question number 29. Question number 30 is from the projectile. It's from projectile. A particle is projected with an initial velocity of 48 meters per second at an angle of 30 degrees to the horizontal after 2 seconds. Find the vertical component of the velocity. So the vertical component of the projectile is that is a y component now, which is same as a vertical component. The y component, that is b was u sin theta minus gt, and so we know the initial velocity, which is u, and we know the angle of projection, which is 30 degrees. So our g is the acceleration due to gravity, although we are not giving here, so we use the approximated value, which is 9.8. Then t is after 2 seconds. So if you substitute that here, you have a 48 sin 30 minus 9.8 times 2. If you simplify that, will give us 24 minus 9.6. Simplify that, give us a 4.4 meter per second as the vertical component of the velocity. So which is option A. Question number 31 is also still on motion. A body is projected vertically upward from a point on the ground with a speed of 40 meters per second. How long will it take the body to its point of projection? So taking g to be 10 meters per second squared. Of course, you are given the initial velocity to be 40 meters per second. Final velocity will be 0, because at the maximum height I told that the body is projected vertically upward, so at the maximum height before it start coming down, the final velocity will be 0. Then t is what you are looking for, the time taken. So how long will it take the body to its point of projection? So of course, one of the equation of motion that we can use is v equals to u minus gt, and the reason why it's supposed to be plus, the reason why it is negative, because when you throw upward, that means it is against gravity, so that means the sign will be negative. Then if you substitute that, you have 0 is equals to 40 minus 10t. Then if you simplify further, we have a correct light time, that will be 10t equals to 40, so t will be equals to 4 seconds. So sorry for that, let's go back. How long will it take the body to its point of projection? So that means coming back as well, not this time is only for to go up. Now what about the time for coming back? So that should also be 4 seconds, and the total time will now be 8 seconds. So please adjust that for question number 31. Then sit on 33, a constant force P of magnitude 10 meter per 108 newtons is applied to a body of mass 10 kilogram. You have to find the acceleration produced in the body. So still on the motion, and this is applicable to force, mass and acceleration. So we know that the relation between force, mass and acceleration, so force is equal to mass and acceleration, and the force is given to be 108, and we can make acceleration to be subject to the formula here by dividing both sides by m. So from there, our acceleration will be equal to 108, which is the force, over 10, which is the mass, and that should give us 10.8 meter per second square, which is option C. Question number 34, we are given that y is equal to the cube root of x. You have to find the y, the s. So it's very simple as well. We are differentiating this function. So y is equal to cube root of x. So this will not be possible for us unless you need to change it to an initial form. So we change this to an initial form. So that should give us y is equal to x raised to power 1 over 3, which is same as cube root of x. From there, if I now differentiate y with respect to x, you have the y, the s to be equal to the power will come down. You have 1 over 3. Then x, then remove 1 from the power. You have 1 over 3 raised to minus 1. You simplify that further. We have 1 over 3. Then x raised to power. Simplify this by finding the LCM. If you have minus 2 over 3. So that is option A for question number 34. Question number 35 is from inequalities. You have to find the range of values for which 2p squared plus p less than or equals to 1. So this is quadratic inequalities. Then we need to make it a proper quadratic equation, proper quadratic inequalities by taking this 1 to this side. You have 2p squared plus p minus 1 less than or equals to 0. Then using your factorization method, 2 multiply minus 1, you have minus 2. Then two numbers you can multiply together to give us minus 2. When you add them together, it will give us a plus 1 here, and that should be plus 2 minus 1. And if that replace this p here, so you'll be having 2p squared plus 2p minus 1 less than or equals to 0. Then factorize this. So 2p is common here. You have 2p into p plus 1. Minus 1 is common. You have minus 1 into p plus 1 less than or equals to 0. Then from there, 2p minus 1, then p plus 1 less than or equals to 0. Then from there, since both of them are less than or equals to 0, so that means one of them will be greater than or equals to 0, one of them will be less than or equals to 0. So that's the condition for inequalities being less than or equals to 0, quadratic inequality being less than or equals to 0. So in this case, we say this one is less than or equals to 0, or this is greater than or equals to 0. From there, you can now simplify further. So you'll be having correct light times here. You're having 2p less than or equals to 1 divided outside by p by 2. You have p is less than or equals to half, or p is greater than or equals to minus 1. So if you combine them together, that should give us minus 1 is less than or equals to x, less than equals to half. So I think option C is the correct option for question number 35. Question number 36, you have to find the remainder when the polynomial s cubed minus s squared minus 10x minus 18x plus 36 is divided by s plus 2. So this you can do using long division method, or you can use remainders theorem to find the remainder of this polynomial divided by this divisor. So in this case we are going to use the remainders theorem, not the long division method. So that means the remainder of this polynomial when divided by this should be x of minus 2. Sorry, should be f of minus 2 rather, not s of minus 2. It should be f of minus 2. So the remainder of this should be equals to f of minus 2. So if you put that here, you'll be having f of minus 2 equals to minus 2 cubed minus open bracket minus 2 squared minus open 18 into minus 2 plus 36. Simplify that further, that gives us minus 8. 4 times minus give us minus 4, then plus 36 plus 36, and that should give us 60, which is option C. Question number 37, we are given that the radius of this equation of circle is equal to 0 is 5 units. We have to find the constant k. So this is from equation of circle. You are given the equation of the circle to be equal to 0, and the radius is 5. So you have to find the value of k here. It's very simple as well. All you need to do is to use your completing the square to complete x and y. So by the first thing to do is to take the k to this side. You have x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 4y equals to minus k. Then rearrange this, collect like times x squared minus 6x plus y squared plus y equal to minus k. Then collect this square, sorry, complete this square also. So how do you do that? Half and square the coefficient of x and add it to both sides. So if I have minus 6, that will give us minus 3, then square it, that will give us 9. So I'll be having x squared minus 6x plus 9. So I've completed x here by adding this constant 9. Then whatever I do to this, I'll have to do it to this side as well. So you add 9. Then come here again, you complete the square of this y as well. Half 4 and multiply and half the equation of y, which is 4, and square it as well. If I have 4, will that give me 2? Then I square it, that give me 4. So plus 4, then plus 4. Then from there, if you change this one, if you change this to a perfect square, change this x squared minus 6x plus 9 to a perfect square, that should give us x minus 3 squared. Then change this also to a perfect square, you have y plus 2 squared equals to, simplify this, minus k plus 13. Then if you remember, our aim is to find the value of k. So whatever you are having at the right hand side here is equals to r squared. So you have r squared equals to this right hand side. Then from there, our aim is to find r. Of course, sorry, our aim is to find k. We have already been given the radius, which is 5. So you have a 5 squared. Okay, from there, okay, to find r, we take the square root of both sides. So we have r equal to square root of minus k plus 13, but you are given the value of r, which is 5. So you have 5 is equal to square root of this. Then to remove the square root, you need to square both sides. So you are not supposed to do this. You are supposed to just leave it like this and find k from there. So you just wasted our time. You have just done a double work here. Nevertheless, so square both sides, you have 25 equals to minus k plus 13. So collect like times k will be 13 minus 25, and that will give us minus 12, which is option A for question number 37. Question number 38 is from the vector as well. We have to find the vector product of a and b, where a is this vector and b is this vector. So that means you have to use a cross product in this case instead of dot product. You have done dot product in this video before as one of the questions given to us, but here you have to do a cross product. So this is vector A and this is vector B. So we have to do cross products, and that means we need to rearrange this one in a matrix form. So the components are I, j, and k. Then for this vector you have a 4 minus 3 minus 2. Then for this vector you have a 1 minus 2 and 5. Then if you have to use cross product now, we need to find the determinant of this 3 by 3 matrix. And how do we do that? We have a cross b equals to pick this element which is I, and its positional sign is a positive, so you have plus I, then reduce this 3 by 3 matrix to 2 by 2 matrix. So this element is in the first row and it's in first column. So close the first row, close the first column. What do you have left? Minus 3, minus 2, minus 2, minus 5, which is what you have in here. So we have reduced it to 2 by 2 matrix. Also, then you go to this I as well. The positional sign of I is a negative, so you have a minus. Positional sign of this J is negative, so you have minus J. Then also reduce this 3 by 3 matrix to 2 by 2 matrix. How? This element is in first row, second column. So close the first row, close the second column. We have a 4, 1, minus 2 and minus 5 left. We have 4, 1, minus 2 and minus 5. Then the positional sign of K is a plus. We have plus K. Then this K is in the first row, third column. So close the first row, third column. What do you have left? 4 minus 3, 1 and minus 2, which is what you're having here. So then from then I can now find the determinant of this 2 by 2, this one and this one as well. Then if you do that, we have a high into cross multiply, cross this one, minus 3 times minus 5, that should give us a 15, minus, then minus 2 times minus 2 give us a plus 4, then plus 4 times that minus will give us minus 4, then minus J into cross this one, minus 5 times 4 will give us minus 20, then there's minus 1 times minus 2 give us a minus 2, minus 2 times minus will give us a plus 2, plus K, then cross here, 4 times minus 2 give us minus 8, then minus 1 times minus 3 give us minus 3, the minus 3 times that minus will give us plus 3. Then if you simplify further, 15 minus 4 give us 11, so you have 11 high, then minus 20 plus 2 give us minus 18, minus 18 times plus J will give us minus 18 times minus J will give us plus 18J, then minus 8 plus 3 give us a minus 5, then minus 5 times K will give us a minus 5K. So which is the cross product of the two vectors. But I think there's an error in the option given, so none of the option is correct. Question number 39 is from the statistics as well, and that is a correlation and regression. You are given that n is 10 and the summation of the d square, which is the square of the rank, equals to 20. Calculate the Spearman rank correlation coefficient. So from Spearman rank correlation coefficient, you have a 1 minus 6 multiplied by summation of d square over n into n square minus 1. So if you substitute that into this, you have 1 minus 6 times summation of d square is 20 you have been given, so you have 6 times 20 over our n is 10, so you have 10 into 10 square minus 1. If you simplify that further, we have 1 minus 290 over 990. If you simplify that, will give us 0.879, which is option C. Then the last question for objective is which of this is of course from the statistics as well. Which one is a measure of central tendency? So out of this subtopic, which one belongs to measure of central tendency? So we know that it is median, because the topic categorized under measure of central tendency is mean, median, and mode. So none of quarter is not there. That is for measure of dispersion, range, measure of dispersion, density. That is cumulative frequency or give for density. So that means option B is correct option for question number 40. So we have been able to solve all the 40 objective questions for the further mathematics questions for SS2 third term examination 2023. We are about to start the theoretical part of the question now, and the first question we are having here is we have to solve the simultaneous equation 8 raised to power y equals to 4 raised to power 2x plus 5, and the log y base 3 equals to log s base 3 plus 2. So we have to solve these two simultaneously, and before we do that, we need to forward simplify them one after the other. So this is initial equation, so we can make the base to be equal, so that to eliminate the base, so we can change this one to be 2 raised to power 3 y, 2 raised to power 3 y, by finding the index of 8, which is 2 raised to power 3, then find index of 4 as well, that gives us 2 raised to power 2. Then from there, these two multiply the brackets, then the base can cancel the base, so you'll be having 3y is equals to 4x plus 10, because these two multiply the brackets. So if you collect like times, then you'll be having if I take this 4x to this side, you have minus 4x plus 3y equals to 10. You can call that one equation 1. Then from the second equation given to us, you have log y base 3 equals to log x base 3 plus 2. So if I take this log to this side, I will have log y base 3 minus log x base 3 equals to 2. Then according to the one of the laws of logarithm, so log this minus log this, they have the same base, so the negative will tend to division. So I have a log y over x base 3 equals to 2. So, and you know that you can change this one to a number without log, because this log still simply means that how often can I raise 3 squared to give me 1 y over x. So, and that can be interpreted as 3 raised to power 2 equals to y over x. So we have a y over x equals to 3 raised to power 2, and that should give us y over x equals to 9. Then if you cross multiply, you'll be having y equals to 9x, which you can call equation 2. So we can now solve these two equations simultaneously to find our x and y. So we can substitute equation 2 into equation 1. Anywhere we see y, we put 9x. So put 2 into 1. That means you'll be having minus 4x plus 3 into 9 equals to 10. Then if you simplify, you have minus 4x plus 27x equals to 10. So minus 4x plus 27 will give us 23x equals to 10. Divide both sides by x, that gives us 10 over 23. Now that we know our x, you can find our y from this equation 2. So put s equal to this into equation 2. So technically we'll be having y equals to 9x from equation 2. So y will be equals to 9 times 10 over 23. And that should give us a 90 over 23, which is tantamount to 3 whole number to 21 over 23 for value of y. So that's the solution for question number 1. Question number 2 is from function. It's from function. We are given that f of x is equal to 4 minus 5s over 2. Given that g of s is s plus 6, where s belongs to real number, find the f prime of our g inverse of 6. So the first thing to do is, first of all, simplify our g inverse. So when we know the inverse of g of x, then you can now find the g inverse of 6. Then you can now put that into f of x. So the first thing to do is to find the inverse of this g of x. So g of x equals to x plus 6. So we know that g of x simply means y. So y is equal to s plus 6. So you have to make s subject of the formula. So we'll be having x is equals to y minus 6. So from there, that means to find the inverse of this, so you need to change the variable. So this one become y, this one become x. So that means technically you'll be having y is equals to x minus 6. So this y now and this y, they are not the same thing. So this y is representing g of x, then this y is representing inverse of g of x. So technically you'll be having g of s equals to x minus 6. So from there, now we now know the inverse of this function, which is this x minus 6. Then from there, you can now find the g inverse of 6. So now you can now find the g inverse of 6. That will give us wherever you see x, you put 6. So you have 6 minus 6, that give us 0. So g inverse of 6 is 0. You can now put that into f of x. So therefore our prime of g inverse of 6 will now be, you put your answer, which is for g inverse of 6, into your f of x. So whenever you see x, you put was 0. So think that you'll be having 4 minus 5 into where x is 0 over 2. We simplify that further, you have 5 times 0 is 0, so you have 4 over 2, and that should give us 2. for question number 2. Question number 3 is from the root and sum of root and product of quadratic equation. Sum of root and product of quadratic equation, given that if the roots of quadratic equation 4x squared plus 2x plus 8x minus m is equal to 0 differed by 3, find the value of the constant of m. So we are told that the root of this quadratic equation differs by 3. So that means the relation, the difference between the two roots is 3. So then the question also to find the value of this m, which is the constant there. Then this is the equation given to us. From there we can find our a, our b, our c. Our a is 4, our b is 8, and our c is minus m. From there, if alpha and let the root be alpha. So if the root of this quadratic equation, if the first root is alpha, what will be the root of the second one? Because we are told that the difference between the two roots is 3. So if the first one is alpha, that means the second one will be alpha plus 3. Do we understand that? So the difference between the two roots is 3. So that means if the first root is alpha, the second root will be alpha plus 3. Good. So we understand that under the sum and root of quadratic equation, we can sum these two roots together. We can sum alpha and this alpha plus 3 together, and that will be sum of roots. So sum of root of quadratic equation is minus b over a. We still remember that. So when you sum the two roots, so you'll be having alpha plus 3. So that means you are summing this and this together to be equals to formula for finding sum of root, which is minus b over a. So we have alpha plus 3, which is sum of the two roots, or equals to our b is 8, that will be minus 8 over our a is 4, minus 8 over 4. So if you simplify this, you'll be having alpha plus alpha will give us 2 alpha plus 3 equals to minus 2, minus 8 over 4 give us minus 2. Correct like times, you'll be having 2 alpha is equals to minus 2 minus 3. So 2 alpha equals to minus 5, alpha will be equals to minus 5 over 2 from there. So we know the value of one of the first roots. So that makes you find the second root as well, but we don't need that presently. So from there, we've seen the sum of the roots. Let's see the product of the root now. The product of the roots will be c over a. That was formula for find the product of the root of quadratic equation. That will be c over a. So that means you need to find the product of the two roots. Product of this, that will be this multiplied by this. So you'll be having alpha into alpha plus 3 equals to minus, our c is minus m, and our a is 4. So we have minus m over 4. Then if you open the bracket here, you'll be having alpha squared plus 3 alpha equals to minus m over 4. From there we know our alpha. Our alpha is minus 5 over 4. If you put that minus 5 over 2 rather, if you put that here, so you'll be having minus 5 over 2 squared plus 3 into minus 5 over 2 equals to minus m over 4. So this will give us a 24 over 4, and this should give us a minus 15 over 4. Sorry, minus 15 over 2 equals to this. So if you simplify that, you have a 24 over 4 minus 15 over 2 equals to minus m over 4. The right hand side, sorry, the left hand side rather, we can find the LCM here. So that should give us a 25 over 30 over 4 equals to minus m over 4. So the denominator will cancel, denominator 4 will cancel 4 here. So you have simplify this, that gives us minus 5 over 4 equals to this. 4 will take care of 4. That means our m is equals to minus m equals to minus 5. Then m will be equals to 5 for question number 3. Question number 4. How many 7 letters words starting with the letter T can be formed from the word further? So how many 7 letter words starting with the letter T can be formed from the word further? This is from the combination and permutation. So it's very simple. Further has the 7 letter words there. So but you want to form 7 letter words, and each of the 7 letter words must start with T. So that means you keep T, then remaining 6 letters will be rearranged, will be permutated with around that letter T. So that means you'll be having 1 multiplied by the want to permutate, you want to rearrange the remaining 6 letters around the letter T, which is 1. So, and that means that'll give us 1 times 6 factorial, because we are trying to rearrange FUR then around this T. So that means you'll be having 1 times 6 times 4 times, sorry, if you find the 6 factorial, it means that 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. If you simplify that further, that should give us 720 ways. Question number 5 is from the trigonometric ratio. You have to prove that the square root of 1 plus cos s over 1 minus cos s is equal to cosecant x plus cot x, which is the cos inverse says inverse of sine inverse of x plus tan inverse of x. Now from there, of course, let's simplify the left hand side to get this right hand side. So we have the square root of this, and from our idea of division of surds, so this can be split into the numerator having a surd over the denominator also having a surd. So that can be split into this over this according to surd. Do we understand that? Good. Then also according to surd, when you're having the fraction, the denominator is in surd form, that means we need to rationalize. So that we can also rationalize this by finding the conjugate of the denominator, which will be 1 plus cos x. That will now multiply up and down. If you do that, you rationalize the surds. If you do that, you'll be having the question, which is this times the rational multiplied by the conjugate of the denominator, which is a surd of 1 plus cos x over surd of 1 plus cos x. Do we understand that? Good. So the denominator is a difference of 2 squares, then the numerator is a perfect square. So the numerator is a perfect square, so we'll be having 1 plus cos s squared, that is the surd of 1 plus cos s squared, and the denominator will be square root surd of 1 square minus cos square x. So from there, that means you'll be having square root of this multiplied by this, which is a perfect square, over square root of the difference of 2 square. Do we understand that? Then from there, this multiplied by this will give this a perfect square. That should give us a 1 plus cos s squared, then square root of that over the surd of 1 square is same as 1 minus cos square x. Then this surd will take care of the square here, so we'll be having 1 plus cos s as the numerator. Then if you remember that one of the identities of a trigonometric ratio is that cos sine square s is the same as 1 minus cos square x, because sine square plus cos square s will give us 1. So that means sine square s is equal to 1 minus cos square x. So if you replace that by that, we'll be having the square root will take care of 2 here. So you have 1 plus cos x over sine square x. Then this square root here will also take care of the square here. So we'll be having a 1 plus cos s over sine x. And this one can be split into two fractions. So we have 1 over sine x plus cos over sine x. The 1 over sine x is the cos inverse of 1 over sine s give us a cosecant x, and 1 over cos x over sine s will give us a cot x. So we have that proven or proved. So question number 6 is from the motion. The speed of moving bus reduced from 45 meters per second to 5 meters per second with a uniform retardation of 10 meters per second. Calculate the distance. So the initial velocity is 45 meters per second, the final velocity is 5 meters per second, and the negative acceleration, which is retardation, is minus 10 meters per second squared, not it's meter per second squared. So we have to calculate the distance, which is x. So if you remember one of the equation of motion that are related to this, you have v square equals to u square plus 2x, where s is the distance we are looking for. So if you substitute this into this, you have 5 squared equals to 45 squared plus 2 into minus 10 times x. Simplify further, we have 25 equals to 2025 minus 20x. Collect like terms as well. We have 25 minus 2025 equals to minus 20x. Subtract this, you have a minus 2000 equals to minus 20x. Divide both sides by minus 20, so s will be equals to 100 meters for the distance covered. Question number 8 is from the what's it called, statistic as well. The deviation from a mean of values from a set of data are minus 2, m minus 1, m squared plus 1 minus 1, 2, 2m minus 1, and minus 2. Find the value of m. Like I said, it's from statistics. So the deviation from a mean of value of a data is this. So that means the sum of all these numbers should give us 0. So the sum of the deviation from a mean should give us 0. So when I add this together, so minus 2 plus m minus 1 plus m squared plus 1 minus 1 plus 2 plus 2m minus 1 minus 2 should give us 0. If you simplify this further, we can collect like times. You have m squared, then m plus 2m will give us 3m, minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3, plus 1, that gives us minus 2, minus 1, that should give us 1 plus 2 give us 3, then 3 minus 1, what am I saying in essence, sorry, minus 2 minus 1 will give us minus 3, plus 1 minus 2 minus 1 again, that will give us minus 3, minus 3 plus 2, that will give us minus 1, minus 1 minus 1 minus 2 minus 2 again minus 4 equals to 0. So we have quadratic equation to solve now using any method you know, but this can be solved using factorization method. So two numbers can multiply together to give us minus 4, and when we add them together give us 3. That will give us plus 4 minus 1, I think. Yes, plus 4 minus 1. So that may give us m squared plus 4m minus 1 minus m minus 4 equals to 0. Factorize this, m into m plus 4. Then factorize this as well, minus 1 into m plus 4 equals to 0. So we have m minus 1 into m plus 4 equals to 0. So m will be equal to m minus 1 equals to 0, or m plus 4 equals to 0. So m will be 1, or m is equal to minus 4. Question number 9 is from the trigonometric ratio of compound angle. You are given that tan p is equal to 3 over s minus 1 and tan q is 2 over s plus 1. You have to find the tan p minus q. So like I said, it's from trigonometric ratio of a compound angle. Tan p minus q give us tan p minus tan q over 1 plus tan q tan p. So if you substitute that into this, we know the value of tan p and tan q. So technically you'll be having a tan p is 3 over s minus 1 minus tan q is 2 over s plus 1 over 1 plus this multiplied by this as well. From there, if we simplify further, we can find the LCM of the numerator, which is s minus 1 into s plus 1, and that's the difference of 2 square. So that should give us a s square minus 1 for the LCM. So also this one will multiply this one, so this multiply this also different of 2 square, that give us s square minus 1, then 3 times 2 give us 6. So if we simplify that further, so the LCM of this is s square minus 1, so s minus 1 in this, that give us s plus 1 times 3, that will give us what you're having here, then minus 2, then s plus 1 in this, that will give us s minus 1 times 2, you have this, over 1 plus 6 over this multiplied by this will give us s square minus 1. From there, if you simplify further, open the bracket here, you have a 3s plus 3 minus 2s plus 2 over s square minus 1 over find the LCM here also, which is s square minus 1. If you find the LCM, so we have this 1 over 1, then 1 in s square minus 1 give us s square minus 1 plus s square minus 1 in s square minus, that gives us 1 times c, that gives us a 6 over this. From there you can simplify further. If you find the LCM, so if you simplify this, you have 3s minus 2, that gives us x. 3 plus 2 gives us 5 over s square minus 1 over 1 minus 1 plus c gives us 5. So you have s square plus 5 over s square minus 1. If you simplify that further, you can change this to this, because this division sign is changed to this, which you cannot change to times. This one go, this one come down. So you have s plus 5 over s square minus 1 times s square minus 1 over s square plus 5. So this will take care of this. So you have s plus 5 over s square plus 5, which is the answer for question number 9. Question number 10, we have to find the third term of this binomial expansion. The third term, when the x over 2 minus 1 raised to power 8 is expanded in descending power of x. So you are looking for the third term. So like I said, it's from the binomial expansion, and of course you can use either binomial expansion way, or you can use a Pascal triangle, anyone you prefer out of the two. So but in this case you are going to use a binomial expansion. So if you were to expand this, so the first term you're going to be having 8 combination 0 for the first term, then this will carry the power of 8, then multiplied by minus 1 will carry the power of 0 for the first term, plus the second term we have the 8 combination 1. Here is 8 combination 0, 8 combination 1. Then this one we have the x over 2 raised to power 7. You reduce this by 1, you remove 1 from this to give us 7. Then this one will increase by 1, that will give us minus 1 raised to power 1. Next one you'll be having 8 combination 2. This one will be reduced by 1 raised to power raised to power 6. Then this one increased by 1, the raised to power 2 here, plus, then and so on and so forth. But we don't need to continue because you have to stop, find the third term. This is the first term, this is the second, and this is the third. So we are simply working on this third term. So we are going to be having the third term to be 8 combination 2 into s over 2 raised to power 6 into minus 1 squared. And if you simplify this, 8 combination 2 is 8 factorial over 8 minus 2 factorial 2 factorial. Then multiply by 6 raised to power s raised to power 6, then divide by 2 raised to power 6, because this raised to power 6 is affecting x and 2. Then minus 2 squared is minus 1 squared is 1. Then from there you can simplify this further. That should give us 8 factorial over 8 minus 2 is 6 factorial, then 2 factorial times s raised to power 6 over 2 raised to power 6 is 64. Then if you simplify it factorial further, we have 8 times 7 times 6 factorial, so that this can take out the 6 factorial under. Then multiply by s raised to power 6 over 64. Then from there you'll be having 87 times 87 over 2, which is 87. Then 2 factorial is 2 over 2. So you'll be having 8 times 7 is 56, divided by 2 times s raised to power 6 over 64. If you simplify that further, that should give us 7 s raised to power 6 over 16 as the third term of the expansion of this data here. Question number 11 is from the equation of circle. We are told that the coordinate of the center and the circumference of the circle minus 2,5 and 6 pi units respectively. You have to find the equation of the circle. So you are given the coordinate of the center and you are given the circumference of the circle to be 6 pi. So of course we know that circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, and you will be given the value of the circumference of the circle, which is 6 pi. So we have 6 pi equals to 2 pi r. Then pi can take care of pi, 2 can take care of 6. So you have our r to be equal to 3 in this case. So we know the radius now. We have the circumference of the circle. sorry, we have the radius of the circle, and we have this center of the circle to be this. So the center is also given, so we can now find the equation of the circle. Since we know the center, we know the radius, so we have this to be s minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals to r squared, where a and b are the coordinate of the center and the r is the center, so r is the radius rather. So if you substitute that here, our a is a minus 2 and our b is a 5. If you put that there, you have a x minus a is minus 2 open bracket minus 2 then squared plus y minus our b is 5 squared and our r is 3 then squared. Simplify that further, minus times minus will give us plus. Here you have s plus 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals to 9. Then you can now expand each of the bracket twice. So if you expand s plus 2 squared, you have a s squared plus 4s plus 4. If you expand y minus 5 squared, that gives us a y squared minus 10y plus 25 equals to 9. Then from there you can take the like times as well and rearrange. So s squared then plus y squared plus 4x minus 10y, then 25 plus 4 will give us a 20 plus 29, then equals to 9. Then bring this 9 to this side, we have a s squared plus y squared plus 4s minus 10y plus 29 minus 9 equals to 0. So simplify further, we have 29 minus 9 give us 20 equals to 0. So this is the equation of the circle we are looking for. Question number 12 is from probability. A box contains 5 red, 7 blue, 4 green identical bulbs. 2 bulbs are picked at random from the box without replacement. Calculate probability of picking the same color of bulbs. So like I told you, from the probability, you have 5 red, we have 7 blue, and we have 6 green. So total bulb will be 16 in numbers. So we have to calculate the probability of same color. That will be probability if two bulbs are picked. So probability of the same color will be probability of red because the first bulb is red, second bulb is also red, plus probability of blue plus probability of green. And don't forget that this is a conditional probability which without replacement. So then probability of picking the first red, that will be 5 out of 16 multiplied by probability of picking the second red will be 4 over what 15, because you have already picked one red before, so the red will be reduced by 1 and total number also will be reduced by 1. So you'll be having the probability of first red is 5 over 16 multiplied by probability of second red will be 4 out of 15, reduce 1 by this, reduce 1 by 1 as well, then plus probability of the first blue is 7 over 16 times probability of the second blue will be 6 over 15, which I believe you know what we got that because without replacement, plus probability of the first green, that will be 4 out of 16 times probability of the second green, that will be 3 out of 15. Then if you simplify and reduce this properly, you'll be having 1 over 12 for this, plus you'll be having 7 over 40 for this, plus you'll be having 1 over 20 for this. You take the LCM, you have this over 120, and that gives us 37 over 120 for question number 12. Then question number 13 is from statistics. In this case, you have to simplify this. We are given the frequency table. This frequency table having class intervals and the frequency. This is a frequency table of distribution of heights in centimeter of student in a certain school. We have to construct a cumulative frequency table, and you have to use it to draw cumulative frequency curve or GIF. So it's very simple. Now we are given a frequency table. From a frequency table you can get cumulative frequency table. This is how I want you to see it. We are given a frequency table. From a frequency table we can get cumulative frequency table. So what do we need to add to frequency table to get cumulative frequency table? What must I add to frequency table to get cumulative frequency table? We need to add your cumulative frequency, and you need to add upper class boundaries. So to get cumulative frequency table, add cumulative frequency and upper class boundary to the frequency table. So I want you to get this idea of how to strategize this thing. This is a frequency table given to us. So from this we can get cumulative frequency table. That means you need to add some things to this table, and that is a cumulative frequency table, cumulative frequency, and you need to add the upper class boundary to the frequency, to this frequency table. So let's see that in action. If you construct that, this is the height, which is the class interval given to us, this one, and you have arranged it vertically, and this is the frequency given to us. So this table you have here, which is frequency table, is same thing as from here to here, this one here. I hope you can see. Good. Now from there, then we need to construct a cumulative frequency table. What do we need to add? We need to add cumulative frequency, then we need to add upper class boundaries. And how do we cumulate our frequency? We get cumulative frequency from frequency. We need to cumulate our frequency, add the frequencies together. That's meaning of cumulative frequency. Then how do we do that? The first one is 27. You write 27 here. Then for this one, you'll be having 27 plus 58. 27 plus 58, that gives us 85. The next one here, you'll be having this 85 plus 130. 85 plus 130, that gives us 215. The next one, you'll be having 215 plus 105. 215 plus 105, that's 320. The next one, you'll be having 320 plus 50. That'll be 370. The next one, 370 plus 25, 3925. Then the next one will be 3925 plus 5, that gives us 400. So it will be like this. We have been able to cumulate our frequency to get 27, 85, 215, 320, 370, 395, 400. And from there, how do we confirm that we are right? If you sum all these frequencies together, you are meant to get 400 if you sum these frequencies together. Then upper class boundaries, you are going to get that from this class intervals here. For this class interval, we have the lower class interval, we have upper class interval, lower then upper. So from the upper class interval, you are going to get upper class boundary. So how do you get that? Is by adding 0.5 to this, 0.5, add 0.5, add 0.5, add 0.5, add 0.5, 0.5. So you get this. Do we understand that? So this is a cumulative frequency table we have prepared now. Then to now draw the OGIF, which is cumulative frequency curve, you need to use your cumulative frequency and upper class boundary to draw it. So if you go there, you have a graph like this. You need to get a graph, and you need cumulative frequency table, cumulative frequency and upper class boundary from your table you have prepared in the cumulative frequency table to draw the OGIF. So the cumulative frequency will be on the y-axis and the upper class boundary will be on the x-axis. So the first thing to do is to label your axis cumulative frequency. This is upper class boundaries. Then you need to scale your axis. So on this y-axis, we use 40 units. For each 2 centimeters, we use 40 units for 2 centimeters. Now you are seeing here 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 240, 280, 320, 360, 400. So as to accommodate all the values in the cumulative frequency. So 2 centimeters represent 40 units. Then for the x-axis, which is the upper class boundary, we use 2 centimeters represent the difference between this and this is 10, I think. Yes, 10 units. So we use 2 centimeters represent 10 units on the x-axis. So here you have 0.9, sorry, 109.5. So all you need to do is to put all these values of upper class boundary in each to 2 centimeters. So 109.5, 119.5, 129.5, 139.5, and 149.5, 159.5, 160.9.5. So from there also we need to know what one broken line will be on the y-axis and one tiny line will be on the x-axis as well. So how do we get that? For the y-axis, we said that 2 centimeters represent 40 units. So and then we have 10 broken lines in each of the 2 centimeters. So to get one line, that will be 40 divided by 10, that will give us 4. So that means each line on the y-axis is 4 units. Then for the x-axis, 10 broken line represent 10 units. So that means each line will be 1 unit. So we can now plot. So for the first one, cumulative frequency is 27. 27. How do we get that? Each line is 4 units, so 26, that'll give us uh, 6 lines, I think. No, what am I saying? Each line is 4 units, so 4 times 5 is 20, times 4 6 is 24. We are going to 27. Then uh, the seventh line will be 28. So that means the line is going to be between the seventh line and the sixth line. So we are going to mark the sixth line, the middle of sixth line and the eighth line. That'll give us this 27 under the 109.5 here. Then for the next one we have 85. So this is 80. Then each line is 4 units. So the next line will be 84. Then the 85 will be in between the second line and the third line. So you are asterisk that under 11.5, so 119.5 here. So that is for 85. Also the next one will be 215. This is 200 here, and to get 115 we need how many lines more? So on the y-axis we have each line is 4 units, so we have 4 times 3 is 12. So, and sorry, 4 times 3 is 12. Then 4 times 4 is 16. So we need more 4 lines. Then the line, it will not be in between the the third line and the fourth lines. So that will be the, we have 200, 204, 208, 212, and 216. Then in between the third and the fourth line, you will asterisk that as well for 215 under 129.5, which is this place. So you have asterisk this one here. Then the next one is 320. 320 is already there, so we don't need to stress ourselves. 320 there is, so that one is here under 139.5. Then the next one is 370. 370, this is 360. Then you need how many line more? We only need 2 lines, which is 8. So then plus half, so that will be in between the third line and the fourth line here. That gives us 370. Then 395. 395 will be here. If you calculate your, each line will be 4. 4 times 4 times 10 is 40. Then we are going to 139. So that should be the in between the ninth line and the 10th line. So that will give us a 295. Then the last one is 400, which should be on this line. So that will be under 169.5. So after that, you now can now join the points together to form a curve, which is the O-GIF you have to draw. So that's the solution for the third term examination given to the public school in Lagos State. That's for SS2 further mathematics, and we have been able to solve all the 40 objective questions and the 13 theory given to them. So, and I believe you have learned 1 or 2 things on this video. And if you like the video, please give a thumb up for the video, share the video, like the video, and if you are yet to subscribe to the channel, please click on the subscribe button on the channel right now, so that you'll be notified whenever we post in information on this platform. Thank you, and God bless you. I will see you in the next video.